This podcast is part of the Heartifact Podcast Network. For more of this and our other podcasts, head to heartifactstudios.com.au.
Welcome back to Australia Mania. It's the only wrestling podcast called Australia Mania. I'm your host, David Yang, joined by me.
So this is why I do it.
Oh, but I was so close, but
Welcome back to Australia Mania. It's the only wrestling podcast called Australia Mania. I'm your host, Ricki, as always, joined by Michael Thompson.
Beautiful. You're going to have to cut that little
And
bit out.
David Yang.
yeet.
I'm going to keep it in just to embarrass you.
No, that's fine. Look, I'm all a fan of a cold open and a bit of a fuck up.
That's fair enough. How are we doing, boys?
We're doing well, team. Very
It has
well.
been a massive week in wrestling, and it's just going to get more massive this weekend. There's so much to talk about.
There's
So much.
There's been wrestling or a big wrestling event every single day this week, has there not?
Pretty much. I mean, obviously, Best of Super Juniors runs every day anyway, but like we've had NXT, we've had Raw, we've had SmackDown, we've had Best of Super Juniors final with the debut of one Jon Moxley.
More on that later.
His first official match
Actually,
since leaving WWE.
just then as well, Renee Young's just posted a photo up on Instagram of Moxley.
We were just discussing this.
With bicep, trophy, Japan flag, and drooling.
Yeah. We just saw that.
He is, it's been a crazy week, and it's going to get crazier. We're going to review what's happened. We're going to preview what's coming up.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Well, coming up on...
And this is Australia Mania.
Yeah. Coming up on the podcast today, bit of Jon Moxley, which we're talking about. There's a segment dedicated to Jon Moxley because last week he was on Talk is Jericho, airing his dirty laundry. We'll chat about him being Juice Robinson with his brand new move, the Death Rider, which looks freaking sick, by the way.
I fucking love it.
It's real good.
It's
It's very extra. Like it's a dirty deeds with some stank on it.
I'm going to ask the question, though. Do you like the new... The tights and him ditching
Yes.
the singlet and the jeans?
Yes.
I was talking to Ricki just before. I am indifferent about it at the moment.
I like it 'cause
the change of direction.
It's such a departure from jeans and a singlet.
Yeah. But what I love most about this Jon Moxley, though, is you can just tell
He's
he is a
loving it.
different man.
He's loving it.
He is loving
loving
it.
it.
He is more aggressive. He is so much more fluid of a wrestler than I thought he was.
Yeah.
Like,
He's real smooth,
yeah, so smooth.
but yet still.
Do you see the way he
but
hit
yet
the
still
ropes
brutal.
in that opening start of that match, right?
Yeah.
He hit
Yeah.
them ropes hard.
Yep.
Dude cares,
Yep.
man.
I think his favourite moment was when he got suplexed through a table.
Oh.
Power bombed through a table.
And it's good, too, because if you look at Moxley as well, and we looked at Moxley at AEW as well as New Japan, he's fallen in love with pro wrestling again.
He has.
Yeah, he has.
100%.
He's even come out and said that he's fallen in love with the sport again
Yeah.
since leaving WWE. And we'll mention this very shortly when we do the Moxley wrap as well, the Talk is Jericho podcast, because the person who's been filming his vignettes is a very close friend of his as well, which...
Former also hardcore wrestler, now
Yeah.
turned filmmaker.
Yeah, and it's funny, though, too, because Moxley didn't come up with the walk in the streets and the shackles and all that sort of stuff with his first video for Double or Nothing. It was his mate's idea, and then this one, too, it was also his mate's idea. So I want to have a chat with you guys about that, too, because when Moxley dropped that on the Talk is Jericho podcast, I found it very fascinating. I know, Ricki, filmmaker yourself, you've gotten some really good ideas from him, too, like looking at those videos, too. Like
When he was talking about it and how it's like it was just a 2-day shoot, spent $8,000 on it, which was mostly gear rental and paying his friend.
Fuck.
It looks like a $20,000 like what WWE would do for like a vignette promo style thing. And this was just like
he shot I think it was at 3 a.m. He shot the walk in the streets of Vegas.
yeah. So they
It
were
was about 2 or 3 a.m.
essentially they were doing it like it was like when they say 2 days, it was just 2 days straight of just like always filming, doing takes, doing retakes, all that sort of stuff. Like filmmaking is a very long process. So for a 30-second video, it took them 2 days to pump it out. But
Inclusive of editing time and all that kind of stuff?
no. Like it was 2 days to shoot, and then it was like because he did it in February, and it didn't get released till his contract was up in April.
Yep.
So the editing would have taken
few
place
months.
in that time, and then like apparently he was done, and he just sat on it.
Put your filmmaker hat on just for a minute.
Yes.
How much did you enjoy both vignettes of Jon Moxley by looking at him, like just the way it's shot and everything like that? Filmmaker. Put your filmmaker hat on.
They're done really well. Like they're done really, really well. Especially that one for New Japan, which was a build up where we didn't know who it was going to be, and then by the end, it was pretty obvious that little like symbol that he was carving into the table, like that was in the earlier promos. And I'm watching this because it was happening all the way through the Best of Super Juniors tournament. And I'm like, who could that be? Who has a symbol? Because they turned it sort of 90 degrees so it was upright, so it looked like a weird figure eight. I'm like, who is that? Who could that possibly be? Racking my brain for like every like free agent wrestler that potentially could go and face Juice Robinson. It would make sense to face Juice Robinson. Not once did Dean Ambrose pop into my head.
I was thinking, was there any moment you thought, it could be Moxley?
Well, I just didn't think that he would have gotten an invite to come to New Japan so quickly. Like the AEW stuff, that makes sense because he's friends with Cody. He's worked with the Bucks previously when he was still in the Indies. So he knows those guys. Japan is a whole different story. So for him to get that, and like these promos were happening either right before or right after he left WWE.
Yeah.
So there wasn't enough time for me to think, it might be Jon Moxley. But then obviously when it came out that it makes perfect sense.
Also, I liked as well that they had the match of Juice Robinson on the big projector screen as well in the bar too, which sort of
it was all these nice little touches that just sort of made it all come together.
It's similar to when Moxley and Janela filmed their little shot for being the Elite, which is, Janela lights up that cigarette, which we've spoken about, and Moxley steals it and flicks out and all that. Well,
simple.
That's
easy.
It's simple filmmaking.
So, like we're going to talk about him on Jericho, but
Yep.
I think actually the podcast I've enjoyed more. Have you guys listened to him on Wade Keller's show?
Yes, I have.
No.
Even better. It's not as much like Wade tried to avoid every point that he'd already brought up with Jericho. So this is a 2.5 hour conversation where he does not really reiterate any point he already had on Jericho's podcast because Jericho's was recorded right before Double or Nothing. This was recorded 4 days after. So it was more about the fallout of him showing up.
Because I think it was their hotel room. I think it was Jericho's hotel room they were staying at in Vegas.
Yeah,
they were shooting in.
This was over the phone, so the audio quality is not fantastic.
No.
But it's more about the impact of him showing up, and at that point the New Japan promo had dropped and everyone knew he was going, so then it's more of a discussion about him going to Japan as well and what he hopes to achieve there. So it was a really interesting podcast. He's brought up a lot of points that are pretty interesting. Like he said that those promos that he shot with AEW, with like he did the Paradigm Shift 1.5-minute promo, then he did the promo with Janela.
Yep.
Apparently he filmed another one while he was backstage at AEW that's yet to be released. It's setting up another potential feud for him in AEW. And he said that collectively took him 5 minutes to just think of what he wanted to do, grab a guy with a camera and shoot it. And that's all. And he said the difference between that and WWE is like, you need to get a guy there for lighting. You need to get a guy there with a camera, a guy for sound. You need to have it all run past Vince before you get it shot.
Yep.
And then even then it'll be shot. And if it's like a pre-tape, he said they've got 6 hours before the show goes live to pre-tape all the shit. He said they can do a pre-tape, show it to Vince, and then halfway through the show, Vince will just be like, oh, by the way, didn't like that pre-tape. Can you guys go and record it again? And that's why you get those like backstage segments with like the match noise going on in the background, because that was supposed to be a pre-tape before the event. And then halfway through the show, Vince is like, don't like it, shoot it again. And he's like, that just drove him nuts.
It did.
And the fact that he can just go to Cody, like, can you get me a guy with a camera? I'm going to go do like 3 things just off the cuff. And Cody's like, yep, no worries. Do whatever you need to do. Here's the guy with the camera. Go do it. He said it's such a fucking simple system now where he can just go, what ideas do I have in my head? And just go and film them.
All right, sweet. We'll park Moxley just for the short time because I'll quickly get through the news, and then once we do that, then we'll go straight back into Moxley and talk about everything Talk is Jericho.
Woo.
So SmackDown have dropped in ratings with a 2.012, down from 2.076 from last week's program. We all had a jump in viewership thanks to Return of the Dead Man and Firefly Funhouse, as well as Triple H.
And Brock Lesnar.
And the Brock Party.
And Brock Lesnar.
Not by much, though. By a couple thousand.
The cash-in tease, I think, was a big bait.
Yep.
They were hanging out there for people to tune in, and then they didn't do it.
But a lot more people were apparently invested in the Triple H Randy Orton face-to-face for some reason, which I thought was really
That felt
interesting.
super off the cuff. And I really enjoyed the balls in Stephanie's purse line. If you watch it back, it
God,
feels
be
like
more CM Punk 2011.
It just feels like because you look at Randy and he kind of like goes to stop Triple H, and then he just smiles to himself and then says the line. I'm just like, did he off the cuff that? It really feels like he did. And then like even Triple H's retort was kind of like, it felt a lot more genuine than if like it was a scripted thing.
Well,
So
I read up apparently that 75% of that actually wasn't scripted at all between Triple H and Randy Orton, and because they're veterans of the ring, and plus they know what to say to each other, and they're cool with it.
A lot of like Triple H's recent feuds have, to me, felt very off the cuff shooty in a way.
Yeah.
Give me what I want.
Which to me is why you invest so much more in them.
Yeah.
One, because obviously we know the past history between these two wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
Their stints in Evolution, the
You
things
don't-
that they've done at the
you don't
Authority.
need to build a story.
You don't need to build
15 years. of
another
this.
story on top of it. Just be like, no, these guys hate each other, and here's why, right? But like, because of the off the cuff nature of it and that shoot like aspect of it, I'm already invested. Like I feel that kind of emotion already, right? Whereas, you know, I was actually reading something the other day. The most fleshed out storyline going into Super Showdown this weekend is the Shane feud.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's like the only one that has
it
some
is.
fleshed out nature to it.
It really is like, look, I think Ziggler and Kofi have done the best they can with 2-3 weeks of build.
Yep.
Yeah, and if they were to do a promo package for that, they have years worth of matches against each other that I'm pretty sure either WWE themselves put up on Instagram or on YouTube.
Because they've fought for each other for both the Intercontinental and US titles back in the day as well. Yeah. Plus for the fact as well.
Have they fought for the tag titles as well? Because this would make them Grand Slam opponents.
Actually, I think so, because I think when Kofi and R-Truth were together at that one point, I think they were the tag champions. I think Dolph and Big E were challenging them at one point, or Dolph and Jack Swagger would.
That would be interesting to like suss out who have been Grand Slam opponents.
Well, we had this discussion not too long ago. I know we didn't have it on the podcast. We had it in the chat.
Yeah,
I brought it up. I'm like, you wouldn't believe who Grand Slam champ. I think it was actually Kofi and not Daniel Bryan. No, it might have been Kofi and Daniel Bryan might be Grand Slam opponents.
Who did Daniel Bryan tag with?
Kane?
Yeah, it would have been
Kane.
Kane.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Team Hell No. Duh.
But I'm more or less thinking whether or not they
Shit.
fought over the US belt and the IC belt.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But they're on their way.
Yeah.
But with Dolph and Kofi, you can look back and go, because, you know, Dolph's gone through a lot of tag opponents in the past, and, you know, Kofi's had Evan Bourne and R-Truth.
Yeah, CM Punk.
And CM Punk as well, like 10 years ago.
And he's a very decorated tag team champion.
And the New Day.
And the New Day as well, on top of that.
So if you look at it, too, you go at one point, it would have been either R-Truth or Evan Bourne that Kofi would have tagged with to take on either Dolph Ziggler and Big E, or Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger for the tag titles at one point in time.
I wonder who's won the tag straps with the most different opponents.
Ooh.
Oh, sorry, with the most
different tags.
Partners, yeah.
Ooh, Edge?
I reckon Kofi's got... Edge? Kofi has to be up there.
Kofi's up there.
Because just in my head,
are you counting Big E and Xavier as two different? Or are we just going New Day?
Just New Day in
we're going New
general.
Day. So we've got Evan Bourne, New Day.
Evan Bourne, New Day. CM Punk. Who did you say before?
Jack Swagger? No,
R-Truth?
R-Truth. Sorry, yeah. So there's at least 5. I can't think of anyone else who's had 5 different... Maybe Jericho. Jericho had a lot of different...
Jericho. Yeah, Big Show.
Yeah. Hang on. What? Think of all the Jericho...
Miz might be up there.
Edge. He had Edge.
I was going to say Edge is up there as well.
Yeah. Even though they held the belts for 3 weeks before Edge got injured, and then Jericho swapped him over with Big Show and said that Edge was a lousy partner, which... Still, I think that was an amazing story leading into Mania 26.
That's an interesting one to look up.
That's a good little question, actually.
Yeah.
Now I got my brain racking on that one.
Right.
Just right off the bat, I think Miz might be.
Yeah, Miz has had a few different partners.
Okay. When you get a chance, and when this podcast drops,
I will look
chuck it up at
Stray
Mania Pod on Twitter.
Yes.
As a poll.
All right.
Chuck it up as a poll.
Who do we think? No research. You cheeky bastards. Don't look it up.
I'm going Miz.
Miz?
I'm going Miz.
Miz is a good one.
Kofi?
I reckon Miz, Kofi, Edge, Jericho.
And R-Truth.
How many times has R-Truth had the tag strap?
Not as many times as you think, but he's probably won it.
Because him and Miz had it.
Him and Miz had it, definitely.
Him and John Morrison had it.
Did they?
I don't even remember him tagging with Morrison.
So, no, actually...
Well, Miz and Morrison definitely had the tag strap.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
Morrison and R-Truth took on Jericho and Big Show at Mania 26, but they didn't win the
Miz
belt.
had a lot of tag team partners over the years.
Yeah.
He has.
Did he also win it with Cena?
He did.
Yeah, he did.
He did. Also, I'm going Miz.
And Sandow.
Yeah, I'm going Miz.
Wait, does Sandow and Mizdow count as two different people?
Yes,
Yes.
I'll pay that. I'll pay that.
All right, I'm going to put the poll up. No research. Don't look it up. Vote for it, and then I'll post up who actually is the most
Or
decorated.
we can drop it up on the podcast in like next week or the week after.
True
Something like
that.
that.
Oh,
Like,
a
we'll,
little teaser for you.
yeah, teaser.
All right, continue with the news.
What Culture have wrote an article about why the 24/7 title is one of the best things happening in WWE right now, paying homage to the Hardcore Championship of the Attitude Era and how that was a staple of the 24/7 era too.
I'm coming around to it.
I like the golf course thing.
The golf course was hilarious.
Yeah.
Jinder in his gear, beautiful. And then even like the bit they did on, was it Raw?
Raw.
Like
with R-Truth under the ring on the
the ring
table,
against the
Cesaro
lights,
picking
yeah.
him up. I love it. I love how
No,
he
like
can-
the title changing hands
Yeah,
under the
under
ring.
the-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, was that Raw or SmackDown?
That was Raw.
And
Okay.
SmackDown. I'm pretty sure he also dropped it on SmackDown to
No, he didn't drop-
Elias under the ring, didn't he?
No, that was Raw.
Oh, that was Raw?
That was
okay.
all Raw.
All right. But what I'm loving about this 24/7
No,
title is that...
it was SmackDown because Shane was backstage and he said that his opponent was already in the ring and it was Elias. And Elias is a
sorry,
SmackDown.
yeah.
So the table spot was Raw.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
And then
then
SmackDown
SmackDown
was him
under the
winning it under the ring.
But I love how it was just Cesaro and Ricochet going, which, by the way, they're literally booking this as a Sheamus Cesaro 2.0.
best of 21,
Yeah,
best
give it-
of 35,
Give us
best
this
of
for the
whatever.
entire year and then just have them feud and then become tag team and then
Become
bar.
champion.
and
like-
then break up for no reason.
But I think the brilliance of that was
can't
like they were just having a standard match. Sheamus and not Sheamus, Cesaro and Ricochet. Good match. And then you just randomly pull out a table and then there's R-Truth.
Yep, just
like, I love it.
Just stuck to it.
yeah.
Like, that would have been really cool as well if Ricochet was a thing 10 years ago to have him and Cesaro feud on the Indies. Imagine that.
I reckon they've had a match.
Yeah?
I reckon. No, they have. They had a match. I think it was
Ring of Honor, was it?
either
That's a
Ring of
whole other
Honor,
question as well. Who do you
or-
reckon would be surprising to know that they haven't had a match yet?
PWG.
PWG.
Could possibly be PWG.
We'll do some research and come back to you guys on
Yeah,
that one as well.
I think someone had shown footage like this was their first match in WWE,
Yeah.
but I think as Ricochet and Claudio Casta, whatever the fuck his name was, they have had a match at some point.
If you guys know as well, Twitter at StrayManiaPod.
Please tell us. But I'm pretty sure it was one of those two.
Sasha Banks has changed her name back to her old ring name Mercedes in a post to Instagram. And there's a bit of, like, from what I'm reading, there's still a bit of dialogue between WWE and Sasha Banks as well. But Sasha
I think
has
her and Vince met up last week.
Yeah, I'm hearing that there are talks
There's
and the
dialogue.
talks are going kind of positively.
Yep.
But
She's posting very positive messages on Instagram at the moment,
yeah.
but
But
that
at the
could
same
just be
time-
because she's drunk in Jamaica.
With her husband.
Who wouldn't be happy drunk in Jamaica?
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
I mean, I was drunk in Belize, but that's another story for another day.
Well, but, yeah, close enough.
Close enough.
Yeah.
I was drunk in Mexico too, but that's another story for another day.
I don't know. It feels like she might be on the way out.
'Cause
Just quietly.
It broke her heart losing the belts with Bailey because
did.
they wanted to build something special, those two.
Yeah, I know.
But then again, Bailey's been rewarded by.
But I say,
being
look
SmackDown Women's
what
Champion.
happens. You cop it on the chin and you get the fucking blue strap, or you kind of throw a bit of a tantrum and now you're... Well, I mean, you're drunk in Jamaica, which
but-
isn't the worst scenario to be in,
'Cause
but...
they offered Sasha the last spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match,
They
and
did.
she turned her
They did.
down.
And it really feels like they would have just been like, hey, we know you feel bad, here's the fucking briefcase and probably the strap. It's like she probably would have had the Bailey spot,
Yeah,
but because Bailey hung around, guess who gets it? Bailey.
Bailey does.
So... feels like
Look, you don't-
AEW's calling, baby.
Yeah,
AEW's calling.
But if you look at, sorry, Yang, I was going to say with Sasha though, with the opponents that, or with the women that are in AEW, there's a lot of dream matches that are going to happen.
Ooh, yeah.
I'd rather her go to Japan.
Go to Stardom.
Yeah, do a Japan circuit.
would-
Everyone doesn't have to go to AEW.
I know, but if she wants to stay in America where her husband works...
I'm just saying.
Sasha and Britt Baker would be a fantastic match in my
Hell yeah.
opinion.
Have we all sussed the Britt Baker meme? It's hilarious.
Yes.
No.
Okay,
No.
NXT, they were showing
Oh, that one?
Stephanie,
Where, Stephanie and then
in the
just Britt
crowd,
Baker,
and
like,
Britt Baker just like 3
mhm.
seats down, just like, who's this bitch? It's fucking great. And then
Was
also...
Tony Khan also there, or am I retarded?
No, it was just,
Okay.
it was Britt Baker. But then, like, to add an extra level to that meme, the guy standing behind Stephanie had a Macho Man shirt on, and of course, the rumor, of course, is Macho Man slept with Stephanie way back in the day. So it was just, it's a beautiful picture. It's so good. There's so many layers.
Oh, the best meme to come out of this week is the fucking Vince meme, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about that.
Good shit.
It's good shit.
And finally, this is a bit of independent news, but the King of Dong-Sol, Joe Ryan, has announced that he will remain on the independent scene, even though he had good offers from both AEW and WWE.
He should have taken the WWE one and gone by the King of Pong style.
This is his reasoning. His
plays
reasoning.
beer pong in the ring.
Oh, I thought he would come out with a ping pong paddle and just slap people.
Yeah,
That's
that
what I
too.
thought too.
Yeah.
Whack their
But-
asses.
Joe Ryan said at Bar Wrestling, which is one of the companies he co-owns,
Yes.
is pretty much that the reason why he's sticking in the independent circuit is because his brand lives and dies
Yeah.
in the independent circuit.
Yeah.
And he said there's nothing better as well. Also, good news as well. We'll be seeing the King of Dongstar in a few weeks at World Series Wrestling, and I'm going to get hopefully another T-shirt because I think he's got his farewell shirts he'll still be selling, which I'm just going to buy because
know.
why not?
I mean, look, he's a smart businessman.
He is.
Farewell to the Indies tour, T-shirt. Everyone buys it, comes out and says, "I'm staying on the Indies." Everyone's like, "Fuck you."
But we still love you.
We still love you,
We still love you, but fuck you a little
I
bit.
mean,
Yeah.
God damn him.
I still think the greatest thing from Joe Ryan though was World Series Wrestling where Gino got the lollipop to us.
I love it when Gina has a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have a bit of fun.
Dude, last night, Gino on commentary for Best Super Juniors final.
How was it?
He's so good. He's so good on commentary. I mean, Kevin Kelly, their back
They're
and
just
forth
riffing.
is just it's great. And like he's so like obviously like faithful to Bullet Club. So whenever a Bullet Club person does something bad, he's like, no, it's fine. What are you talking about, Kevin Kelly? Shut up. Just let him do it. Like
You don't understand.
yeah, it's like because I think last night there was a tag. It was Ishimori, El Phantasmo, and Robbie Eagles against I think Chaos. Anyway, El Phantasmo is doing all the dickish heel stuff, and Gambino's just like, no, it's fine. What are you talking about? Low blowed him? No, he didn't. No, shut up. Like it was good. It was good stuff. I like Gino on commentary. He's
That
real
also
good.
probably explains why there's no heavyweight title match slated for MCW, which I'll speak about a little bit later as
Yeah,
well, because Gino's in Japan. I think Slex doesn't have an actual
I think
opponent.
he's staying for. I think he might be doing commentary for Dominion this weekend. I
Yep.
think
But
is the case.
I think from what I'm still reading as well, I think Gino's last scheduled contract with MCW finishes, I think, in August. I think his dates finish up in August.
Do you reckon he goes to Japan?
I'm hearing he's going to Japan. Apparently, Farley wants him to take over as the heavy
The
for
enforcer.
Bullet Club. Yeah.
It makes sense. Like Farley, we've seen him live. Can't move like he used to.
And plus, Farley gave Gino a glowing, like he gave him a glowing reception pretty much as well.
The
saying,
Aussies are on the ups, boys.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean,
He's basically he's like, this is the guy I want replacing me in Bullet Club. This guy, look at him. He's big. He can go around the ring.
he can move.
He can move.
For
He's
a
fast.
dude that big, he can move.
He's faster than me, and I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, he is. He's too old for this shit. Have either of you sussed the Robbie Eagles v Ospreay match from Best of Super
Not
Juniors?
Yes.
yet.
Not in its entirety, but I've seen
You've
the
seen the
spots.
whole. It is so good. It honestly, like it is the match I've felt a lot of buzz has come out of.
Let them run a feud is what I reckon there.
Well,
like
The story they built
Yeah.
on the story. Because like, if you guys don't know, if you're out there listening to this and you don't know about Robbie Eagles and Will Ospreay, Robbie Eagles is essentially the reason Will Ospreay is still wrestling to this day. They had a match at Gippsland Pro Wrestling, of all places.
Gipsy.
Yep. It was the match that Will Ospreay says got him back in love with wrestling.
Yep.
And there was this beautiful spot, and they paid it off in their match in the tournament. Ripped off the because he has all the flags, Will Ospreay, on his gear of the places he's wrestled. He rips off the Japan one. This is 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Gives it to Robbie. Says, "Come to Japan, make your mark." 2 years later, Robbie's joined Bullet Club, of course. Has the match in the ring. This Best of Super Juniors tournament. End of the match, Robbie gets the win. Takes the flag out of his trunks, which he's been holding onto for 2 years.
Oh.
Gives it back to Will and says, "I just made my mark. You can have this back."
Oh.
And then Will,
I just got goosebumps.
That's
yeah, and
beautiful.
then Will had it in his presser after like his little press conference after the match. Told the story, had the flag. He says, "I'm going to hold on to this until he decides." I think it was until he decides to join Chaos, and it feels like they're going in that direction because last night, El Phantasmo and Taiji were doing very, very heelish things. Obviously, they're Bullet Club; they are heels, and the entire time, Robbie's looking on, going like, "Is this really what Bullet Club is all about? Is it not?" You know, we're here to change things. We're not here to just be arseholes. And
They do minutia storytelling in the best way. Over
and then
and
he
over again.
actually got he got the win, but ELP actually tagged in as he goes for the finisher, throws Robbie off the opponent and takes the pin himself.
Yeah.
It's that little,
Oh.
just
It's
It's
tiny,
the minutia,
tiny
the
little seeds
details.
being planted for a possible Robbie
This-
leaving Bullet Club and going possibly to Chaos, LAJ, one of those other factions in New Japan. But
You give us a like if they're not going to strap the rocket to Ospreay going forward, you give us an Ospreay Robbie Eagles tag. Oh.
be great
Oh.
if
You know what I'd love to see though? I'll add on to that one. Chaos and Bullet Club, I would love to see Gino versus Robbie in Japan, with them representing their own factions.
Yeah, honestly, like him being in Bullet Club opens up a lot of junior like potential fights, but him leaving Bullet Club opens up a fight with Gino, like a fight with Ishimori would be epic.
Plus, if you look at it too, and I'll get it back really quickly, Gino and Robbie in Japan. Imagine what that does for pro wrestling in this country.
Oh yeah,
but that's what I'm getting at. Yeah,
yeah,
the
100%.
Australians are on the ups right now on the international scene, not even just Japan.
Yeah,
like obviously we're doing so well in Japan with Gino and Robbie over there.
Also,
we got Jonah in NXT.
We've got Craven who's ripping it up in Lucha Libre, which I've got.
We're killing it in like the UK scene with Rhea Ripley and Tony Storm.
popping up, baby.
My God.
Adam,
we have Shazza McKenzie currently touring the Americas. We got Adam Brooksy over there as well.
Brooksy.
Actually, I've got some news on Adam Brooks too really quickly.
Yes.
He's the second Australian in a few weeks to compete at Crash Lucha Libre. He's got a match in Lucha Libre. I think it's a fatal four-way match. You think he's in
The
there?
Aussies are on the map,
Also, he showed up at the WWE Hall of Fame.
He did.
Yeah.
As Buddy's date.
Buddy's
That was
date.
great.
So cute.
I loved it. They're adorable. Also, okay, Buddy, where the fuck's he at?
Yeah.
He apparently had not a dark match, sorry, house show against Alistair. Apparently it was amazing.
I want that.
I'm
I
like,
want it. Because Alistair Black hasn't even been on SmackDown either. What are they doing?
He's doing the promos.
Yeah.
And he's like, no one's coming to find me. No one's knocking on my door wanting to
think they
fight
might-
with Alistair Black.
I think
I'm
they
like,
may
Buddy,
wait for the right moment
knock on that door.
to bring Buddy Murphy in with Alistair Black.
It just seems like at this current time, and I was talking about it with Ricki before, we exist because of the influence that Saudi has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The realm of storyline.
Alistair can't go.
Yeah. Can he
has-
not?
No, he's got
religious tattoos on his chest.
Christian religious tattoos on his chest.
Oh.
And of course, Saudi Arabia is not Christian.
Yeah.
Not particularly fans of Christians. He can't go.
Yeah.
Like,
But it's just from a
Sami Zayn can't go because of his Syrian
Obviously.
heritage. Kevin Owens is not going because Sammy can't go.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is like, in terms of storylines, they exist, with like a couple of weeks before and a couple of weeks after.
It really revolves around.
It really revolves around that, right?
Yeah.
So it just seems like we just got to ride out this storm.
They're spinning their wheels, waiting for something to
And
happen.
then Murphy will come onto the scene, I think.
Yeah, I
after
think
Saudi Arabia.
you get a big push after Super Showdown.
I think a Murphy v. Alistair feud is
money.
really good money.
Boy, is it goddamn money. And then the winner moves on to face Kofi. IMO. Like, give the rub.
I would be more than okay with that.
I'd be okay with that too. But what I would love to see, though, in the future is I would love to see Black versus Murphy for the Intercontinental Championship belts.
Yeah.
Eventually, when Finn and Andrade are ready to go, I would love to see those two fight off for the Intercontinental Championship belt because imagine that. Imagine Buddy and Alistair Black fighting tooth and nail for that belt.
What the fuck? There's so much potential.
There is.
We've discussed it. We've obviously discussed it so many times in the past.
And just think of it too.
But
Like,
there's so much potential.
and think of the term Intercontinental. This is someone from Holland taking on someone from Australia.
Hey, that's a fucking good point, actually.
Yes.
Oh, Michael,
even
you're
though right
so
now we
nice.
have an Irishman versus a Mexican, so that's still
It's
pretty.
still good though.
Still pretty good.
But it coins the new term.
WWE champions from Ghana.
Yeah, but it coins the new term like Intercontinental, like it being a world title pretty much, or like second world title on SmackDown as well, because then you've got someone for the first time who's not from North America. You got someone from Europe versus someone from Oceania taking on each other for
Dude,
the belt.
SmackDown is so diverse.
It really does
so
feel like
diverse.
move the Intercontinental title to the guys that aren't just American.
Like Black and
really
Black
push
and
that.
Buddy.
Really push that.
I'd be down for
Well,
that.
it
one.
does, but that's not how you sell it, though. It's not like,
don't-
because you're not
but
American.
Just do it without acknowledging
Doing it without acknowledging it, being like, oh, now we've just come to realize that we haven't had an American title holder in a while, actually.
That's what the fucking US belt's for.
Yeah.
They get to have that.
Now Samoan holds it.
We get the shit. We get the white strap.
Yeah, we do. Now we're going to move on to our favourite part of the podcast.
Your favourite part of the
We're going to start dissecting
Mox.
bits and pieces of
Mox.
the Moxley podcast.
Mox.
I wrote this out in the Word document as I was listening
You
to
have
it.
basically written the entire podcast.
Which, thank God, because I haven't listened to it. I don't need to listen to it because
It's all written
it's
here.
just all dot pointed on this
It's
sheet of
all
paper in
written
front of
here.
us.
So
So Michael,
pretty-
thank you.
No worries. So pretty much, for those who have been living under a rock like Yang has, Mox was on Talk is Jericho and basically decided to go. The first bit of the podcast, I'd like to thank WWE for the 8 years. They were really good to me. I learned so much and everything like that. Now, with that out of the way, I'm going to bash the company for the next 90 minutes.
He said Barry, I'm pretty sure.
Barry, bash, same thing.
Same deal, yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
So basically, Moxley told Jericho that his first intentions to leave WWE was back in July when he was still on the shelf with that bicep injury, only because he felt there was nothing going for him, or there would have been nothing going for him when he came back as well.
He's saying he sat there and he watched everything.
Yeah.
Impact, Ring of Honor, like every bit of
New
wrestling
Japan.
he could get his hands on.
Yeah.
He watched. He was even like put over MLW. He's like been watching that stuff too. MLW is coming up in a big way.
Oh, they are.
They are really gaining some traction over in the States.
Speaking of which, Brooksy's, I think, had a few matches in MLW as well.
Yeah, they're starting to fill the void that I think Ring of Honor have kind of lost since they lost the Elite.
Yeah.
Ring of Honor have really been tumbling down, haven't they?
They have.
Yeah.
And MLW's like, they've got a lot of the AEW guys currently.
Because they lost SCU as well, like Daniels Kazarian and Scorpio Sky as well. They were the main staple of...
They were
but apparently,
fucking deal.
And like Marty's on his way out of Ring of Honor as well, from what I'm hearing too.
Realize his contract was so long. Apparently he's got another 2 months.
And then apparently Jay Lethal might be on his way out too. Apparently Lethal's thinking of jumping over to AEW as well.
I think that is... I mean,
It's a shame for Ring of Honor too.
He's the longest reigning Ring of Honor champion.
Ring of Honor world champion.
He had a massive run.
Yeah, because
So you've done that. Go somewhere else.
So he's... From what I've read, Jay Lethal has got the most days combined as world champion. I think 4 more days than what Samoa Joe did, because Samoa Joe had it within one.
So long.
We had it for within one lengthy run.
Yeah.
Jay Lethal had it over about 3 or 4 runs as world champion. But I think Joe was 635. I think Lethal finished at 639, 640 as combined.
Wait,
days.
Joe did that in one run?
Yeah, 635
It was
days.
super early in Ring of Honor.
2003, 2004.
Yeah, like real early in Ring of Honor.
Because he dropped it to... Who did he drop it to? He dropped it to... It wasn't Punk.
I reckon... Oh, it was either Punk or Chris Hero, I think.
Wasn't here. I saw this. It was
Well, it wasn't Nigel McGuinness, was it?
No, it wasn't.
I know him and Joe feuded in Ring of Honor. I'm pretty sure.
It's gonna rack my brain because I just watched the video as well. Because What Culture actually, Collar Holly actually did a video on every Ring of Honor world champion.
Right.
And they told me who Joe dropped it.
Wait. Hang on. I reckon it was Brian Danielson.
Yeah, it was.
They had an epic fucking match. It was
was
those two, and then I think Christopher Daniels was the third man in that match.
Yep.
So good. Go and watch. Go find it on YouTube. Go watch it. So good.
But yeah, it was weird though because if you look at Daniels, it took him 16 years in Ring of Honor to win the world title.
Yeah.
He was the as they call it, like he was just the bridesmaid. He was the man there to put everyone else over.
Bloody good payoff.
And then 2017, they're like, fuck it, put the belt on Daniels. He's worked his ass off on the Indies for 20 years. Give him the belt for a couple months.
Anyway, we've derailed. Back to the thing.
Back to Moxley. But yeah, he also didn't like the scripting component of his return with Seth Rollins too, because when Rollins said, "I'm gonna have the lunatic in my corner," basically what Ambrose wanted from that instant was for Rollins to go, "I'm gonna have this guy," and then his music to hit and the fans to go nuts because he felt like the fans died down a bit when he mentioned dropped the word lunatic. Like he said, the fans were there, but they weren't there.
It was
a funny reaction he said he got.
It was a spread out pop because you had I think you said it was like a 4-part. So it was like part 1 was Seth coming out.
Yep.
Part 2 was him dropping the lunatic, but then there was like a beat before his music hit.
Yeah.
And there was another pop when his music hit, and then I think a 4th pop when he actually like came out from behind the curtain. But he's like, that pop should have been
one big pop.
Basically, the hit of his music, as Seth was saying the line, should have all been in one condensed thing, and then it would have felt like a much bigger moment, him coming back.
But he said it was a funny moment for him because he said he didn't know how to react when he got out there because, as I said, like the crowd sort of deteriorated a little bit when as Rollins kept talking his mouth.
I mean, I popped. Mostly because he was jacked as fuck after coming back.
Yep.
But
Seth and Ambrose...
Dude, with the cut hair, man. Like, he looked good.
No more fringe. Big bulky boy.
Seth and Moxley also said that they had really, really good ideas for their story when Moxley turned heel. Unfortunately, Vince McMahon was the biggest hurdle in the world to get past, which he didn't like.
Essentially,
it's hard hearing this. It's so hard hearing this.
All the points on this little run sheet here, they can be basically summed down. And this is the entire sum of the podcast.
Yeah.
Vince is the problem.
Yeah.
Vince is
so hard to
the
hear,
issue.
And with Moxley too, it could basically said apparently him, Rollins, and the writers come up with a really good idea for their story.
Yep.
And Vince says, "No, we're going to go in a different direction with your story." And yet apparently they worked. I think didn't I say like it was a few weeks? They worked really hard writing, scripting, making sure that it was picture perfect to get to
They
Vince.
had an idea for what they thought it should be. And from what he said, it was really, really good.
Yep. apparently the ride's also really good too. And then it felt like Moxley said he felt really bad because when Vince said no, he couldn't snap at Vince, so he snapped at the riders.
Yeah.
And he felt really bad too, snapping at the riders, because the riders helped him get a really good idea. He's like, you know what? It's not your fault. I had to just yell at someone. I had to vent at someone. And unfortunately, the riders were the only people I had to vent at because I couldn't do it at Vince.
You can't really yell at Vince. That would feel like career suicide.
Yeah, but apparently Moxley wanted to go home after Vince said no.
Yeah.
Like, apparently he was in that mindset. He's like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to get my bags. I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to go back to the hotel room. I'm getting out of here. I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
But that was his mindset. But this is an interesting note before the next point.
Yeah.
The Roman leukemia thing. So
Okay. Before you get to this point, this was a rumored line that was apparently said
by Vince.
By Vince, and then obviously Moxley's told Jericho. I did read something today, I think it was on Cage Side Seats,
Jericho
that is
said
a rumor killer for this.
Yep.
So this is potentially the line, but there is no 100% proof because Jericho has come out and said that's not what was said, but I'm not one to take Jericho at his word. So this is big grain of salt.
Yep.
Big grain of salt with this line.
So take this with a grain of salt. Basically, Vince wanted Moxley to say, I don't know who's more of a dead man walking, Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns. Only difference is I'm going to kill Seth and God is going to kill Roman.
That is...
And something like that is that apparently Moxley said he couldn't do it.
I hate to hear it, man.
Moxley said he didn't want to do it. He couldn't do it.
It's so bad.
When I read that,
that is an attitude era line.
Yeah.
That would have 100%.
That would have passed in 2000.
It would have been said, but my God, it wouldn't have landed well even in the Attitude Era.
No.
Yeah, no, but then in the Attitude Era, they didn't have sponsors to worry about.
Yeah.
Like I said, take that with a massive grain of salt. That was what was rumored to be passed around in the locker room at Double or Nothing because this podcast was recorded before that night. Like we said, Jericho has come out and said that is not the line.
And Moxley felt sick to his stomach when Vince told him to tell him that.
That is 100% a line that would make you feel sick to your stomach. So,
And Moxley didn't want to say. He said to Vince, he's like, no. He's like, I'm happy to drop saying Roman's going to have to, Roman has to deal with the guy upstairs. Like, I'm okay with that. But anything else, I don't want to cross that line.
Yeah, no, that is a hell of a line to cross.
Yeah. And that would have gone that would have seen Moxley as like the ultimate bad guy.
And the thing is, and he brought up the right point, is like, if I had said that and sponsors got pissed, which they would have, he wouldn't have been fired. The writers or producers would have been fired. And he's like, I don't want to do that to those guys. They've got families. They've got to fucking feed their kids and shit. I ain't doing it.
And he also said this too. He said
good on him.
That WWE would have lost the Susan G. Komen Foundation 100%. And Connor's Cure. They would have lost those two if that line was murmured on live TV.
It does my head in that, like, that is potentially something that would have been said on TV, which is just...
I can't believe he would think that.
Jesus Christ.
If it was true, I can't believe that they would think.
I can see, like, old school Vince...
saying that.
Yeah, like 97, 98 Vince, like, being like, this is something that, like... And especially, like, his character, like, the Mr. McMahon character, has done some fucked up shit and potentially could have been like, hey, that's a good idea at the time. But then, like, you got to really think about that. Like, that is not a cool thing to say.
Like, that would have been almost borderline Katie Vick stuff there.
Yeah, like this like that would have been something that we would be talking about in like 15 years time, being like, do you remember that? That was real fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, we still talk about Katie Vick now.
Yeah, I know, exactly. So like,
it's the worst storyline ever, and necrophilia is not okay.
I'm glad John Moxley has a line.
Yeah.
And he didn't cross it.
Now, Moxley also said that the day he says, I'm out of WWE, is when he had the needle in his ass when he was getting vaccinated.
Yeah.
That's when he said,
that was a terrible promo.
I'm out of here. Yeah. I can't deal with this anymore. I need to leave. I'm not re-signing to a contract. Moxley's also come out and said that Brock is ruining WWE. He's also said that if they...
Slander!
He also said that if they gave him a Brock Lesnar-style contract, he would still turn it down.
It was probably my favourite line in the entire podcast. I've already paid off my truck.
Yeah. I've already paid off my house. He's like, paid everything off.
I love him for shit like that, where it's like he's such a, like you said, if he quit or he got fired or whatever, he's like, yeah, me and Renee just would have bought a camper and just gone like driving across America.
Yeah.
Like he's such a simple guy where it's like the only thing that really matters to him, and I like coming out of this podcast, it really feels like it's Renee and it's wrestling. Those are the two things that just drive his life forward. It's being with her and it's being in the ring. And he said, like, you could offer me the Brock contract, $10 million a year. He's like, I don't know what the hell to spend it on. Paid my truck off, paid my house. Like, I love that is his mindset. Where it's like, money is not important. What is important is what I do between these ropes and my connection with the people that come to watch me perform.
To him, it's the story.
It is.
It's the art of wrestling.
It is
and I
so
respect
much
it.
of like what he said on both Kala and the Jericho podcast is like, you can tell that he loves to craft stories.
A good story.
A really good story. And that's all he really wants to do. And is like, wrestling is just the vehicle in which he presents these stories that he comes up with. So him walking away, I mean, at the end of the day, if he's not getting the stories told that he wants to tell, it makes sense. And then he's like, I think this was on the Wade Keller podcast. He was like, the first night he got together with the AEW guys, they were up till like 4 a.m, just like bouncing ideas off each other for Double or Nothing, like what he could do in the future when he starts to get into like more established feuds and stuff. And he's like, dude, we were up all night just talking about storyline and wrestling. And that's what he wants to do.
He even mentioned as well, like the first moment he met Tony Khan, he fell in love with Tony Khan straight away because he said that he's like, this guy is not just a businessman. Like, this guy just loves freaking wrestling.
He's a wrestling fan. Yeah.
He loves wrestling, and him and apparently Moxley and Khan, I think for a couple of hours, just spoke all about wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, Moxley said straight away, he's like, I've got to sign with these guys. I've found my new home. I found somewhere where I'm really happy, though.
That line, though, I think was interesting to me.
Which one was that one?
The Tony Khan is just a wrestling fan.
Yeah, he's just a wrestling fan.
Obviously, he is a businessman as well because he's very... But, like, that line to me actually did sort of ping an alarm in my head.
Going, maybe with AEW, that Tony Khan's not doing it too much for competition. He's just doing it to produce a great wrestling product for something for the fans to enjoy as well.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's trying to get ahead.
Inherently in that, not now, not a year or two into the future, but like 5 years, once AEW is kind of fully established, there will have to be some sort of evolution with the product. You can't keep it as it is now.
Yeah.
You have to grow and evolve. And obviously WWE has done that really well with, the 80s era when it was hot. They had a dip in the early 90s and they brought it back up with the Attitude Era and sort of it goes in, it comes and goes.
And the reference
popularity
was solid.
Yeah, popularity in wrestling in general comes and goes as well. Like, we're having a big resurgence now because the indie scene is hot as hell. New Japan's hot as hell. AEW's coming up. But if they can't see where the pitfalls are, and I think, like, Cody would know where the pitfalls are. The Bucks would know where the pitfalls are because they've been with different companies. And
even Kenny too.
Yeah, and they've rode the ebbs and flows of wrestling popularity and wrestling in the zeitgeist of like what. I know when you love when I use that word, but like what people want in the moment.
Yeah,
a guy like Tony Khan who is a fan of wrestling, but not someone who was brought up in the industry, may not have the foresight to see these trends and maybe adapt the company going forward. So like when he said that, there was a little like alarm in the back of me and just went ping. I'm like, okay, if he can sort of learn to become, I don't want to say a Vince-like guy, but like a guy who sees wrestling as the business, but also as the entertainment side of things.
Maybe like Bischoff, because Bischoff did.
But even Bischoff, like he sort of tripped and fell towards the end of WCW a little bit. But that wasn't his fault entirely, of course. It was Vince Russo.
Khan has surrounded himself with those who have worked so intimately.
He has surrounded himself with the right people.
So he understands business at a high managerial level.
And like Tony can get ideas from these guys too on how companies should be run like that. I think that's why he put Cody, the Bucks, and Kenny in that high position as well, because they can sort of lead him to the right direction of where pro wrestling's going, because they'll see the trend and go, hey, Tony, this is where wrestling's going right now. If we can just, switch it up just a little bit here. Tony might go, sweet, cool.
I just don't want him to be the guy that says yes to everything.
Yeah.
Because then
that's where it goes wrong.
You're going to have people coming to him with like, and like the way they've been talking about, it's the boys booking for the boys. And I like that now. We've already had the issue with Puck where he wasn't happy with his booking. And it seemed like they took him off the Fighter Fest card.
Yeah.
We have no real word on what the situation with Puck is right now. Whether he's going to be with the company, whether he's like decided.
Well, that was our biggest concern going into AEW. Is like we are going to see obviously that they're going to book the boys. But you're right.
Yes.
It's how long are you going to sit there and show favoritism to the boys?
Exactly. So that is sort of the only thing I'm finding a little bit of an issue with is like his sort of like description of Tony Khan is like someone who's really, really enthusiastic, but maybe a bit naive. So when like you've got two guys who are in a storyline, both coming to him and being like, no, I should go over, no, I should go over. Because at the end of the day, look, not everyone has an ego, but there are people in wrestling that have an ego and that want to go over all the time.
It's now the question of, does Park have an ego that he's always going to be undefeated and he doesn't want to hear the word, you're going to lose this one.
Yeah. Like his rationale is he hasn't taken a pin since he won the Dragon Gate title and he wants to protect that title.
Yep.
But
my problem
he's saying Dragon Gate.
Yeah,
AEW.
I was going to say, my problem is, mate, it's a new company. It's not Dragon Gate. Like, you can lose to Hangman Page at AEW, but you can still be strong in Dragon Gate because you're the Dragon Gate champion, which is why I think what they did, though, was they gave Hangman Page a really good rub by making him win the Casino Battle Royale, going, look, I know Park fucked you over because he didn't want to play ball, so what we'll do instead is we'll put you in the Battle Royale, we'll get you to win it, and you get the first shot at the heavyweight title because...
Which I think was the plan in the long... I think Park would have lost that match.
Yep.
Which probably would have been... Like, they didn't officially announce it, but it would have been the number one contender match.
Yeah.
I think he would have lost that match, but... example, last night, Best of Super Junior, Shingo Takagi loses to Will Ospreay, has only been in the company for a while. He went on a 80-match win streak, never lost. Lost last night, clean in the middle of the ring, didn't lose a damn thing for losing because he put on a great match. Will was just a better guy on the night, and Takagi tomorrow when he wakes up is still going to be one of the best juniors that New Japan has right now. Doesn't lose a damn thing for losing one match. And that's kind of what a lot of guys feel like I don't know, I'm not backstage, but it feels like a lot of guys like Park is like, the minute I lose, the mystique is gone.
Yeah.
Or like the title becomes devalued because I haven't won every single match I've had since I held the title. So
it's like when Kurt Angle went to Impact and him and Joe had a massive feud originally. What happened was Joe was undefeated for 18 months in Impact Wrestling. He lost one match to Kurt Angle, but what was good though about Joe is that he won the feud in the best of 3 series against Kurt when they had the 3 matches.
You can always get your win back.
Yeah, but the one good thing though Joe found from it, and Kurt Angle did too, was that it not only helped show that, Impact into the mainstream, but it also skyrocketed Samoa Joe as a wrestler and as a performer. Like, more people looked at Joe straight away and said, shit, this guy went with, someone who's a former 4- or 5-time WWE champion. Who's just coming to the company. That's what Joe did, and like his stocks rose from it straight away, and that's why I think Park should look at too. Like, you might lose to Hangman Page on the first show, but how you might win the feud all up if you go like maybe 3 shows. If you do 3 shows and you're fighting each other, you might win the feud, and not only that, but your stock goes up. Dragon Gate will get more eyes on the product because you'll be bringing the belt out, and also it helps Hangman Page become one of the next up and coming stars in the wrestling circuit.
Hangman is not like 100% established yet. The minute he wins that belt, he becomes a big star.
Because he's still 25. You got to remember that.
27 actually.
27.
I thought he was 25.
I thought he was 25.
But because he's still fucking like 27. He's young as hell. Like, he's been doing this since he was like 18.
Yeah.
He's already a vet, but he's not like, there's still elements of his character and who he is that can be improved.
Absolutely.
And having a feud with a guy like Park, or now obviously it's going to be Jericho, he's going to learn so much from Jericho.
Well, that's what we said last week is if we're going to fantasy book how this goes, you give it to Jericho first, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Establish brand identity with AEW, with a already known industry star like that. But careful, though.
Doesn't hold it for long.
It doesn't hold it for long.
Yep.
Because the end goal is like what you were just saying just then. The end goal here is Hangman wins the feud.
Yes.
Doesn't win the match, but wins the feud.
Actually, I'm gonna throw this out there. If AEW are doing business with New Japan in a few months, what I'm thinking the best way possible.
There's no way they're strapping Jericho with the big belt in Japan.
Nope.
No. Jericho wins the belts at an AEW show, but Hangman Page beats him at Wrestle Kingdom next year for the AEW championship.
Oh yeah, no, I rate that.
That's big. That's big.
And that'll be good too because that means not only the partnership with New Japan and
It'll
AEW,
make it a world title.
Yeah. And also
That's right, yeah. It's not a world title yet, boys.
And the other thing too,
Hang on, 3 continents.
If
3 continents.
If Hangman Page wins the belt in the Tokyo Dome, that means that AEW then have eyes. That means the Japanese will have eyes on AEW from then on forward because they'll go, I saw Page and Jericho in the Tokyo Dome. I want to see more of what these guys can do. I want to see what other people in this company could do as well.
Yeah.
And that brings a whole new audience for AEW. So if they're smart.
Yeah. Apparently, I think the latest update on that is, like I said, unofficially, no one's had the conversation yet, but they reckon once the TV deal kicks in, like they start actually doing, then New Japan will start to officially talk to AEW and be like, okay, what can we do? Talent share, doing stuff together.
Yeah.
I think that conversation is going to have to, or he's going to be put on the back burner until October. So,
but imagine that though. Imagine Hangman, like Jericho, win the belts in a few months, and then Hangman Page getting the payoff at the Tokyo Dome in front of 60,000 people.
it would be
Wrestle
massive,
Kingdom.
especially considering now Wrestle Kingdom is going to be
2 days.
2 days.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like if they do still have this relationship with Ring of Honor and maybe a new relationship with AEW, we might get kind of a split where that day one is going to be like
Ring of Honor?
Ring of Honor guys coming in, AEW guys coming in. Zack Sabre Jr. still has the Rev Pro heavyweight title. So day one may be like Japanese wrestlers with the outside guys having matches for those titles and establishing that. And then day two will be like the traditional like Tokyo Dome, all the New Japan belts are on the line. It's primarily Japanese wrestlers.
Yep.
And it's a more traditional like sort of early 2000s Tokyo Dome show before a lot of the international guys started coming into Japan. So we may get like two really very different
So you'd
days.
say day one would be more...
Ring of Honor, AEW, Rev Pro.
Modernized, like the Western world kind of...
Yeah, like Juice Robinson,
Show.
the United States title might
Yep.
be on the line. So you showcase the outside talent that is associated with
And then
New Japan.
potentially the Ring of Honor world title will be on the line. Maybe the AEW title might be on the line too.
Yeah,
there
stuff
too.
like that. So and then like day two is like your traditional
Just
like,
Japanese.
all the Japanese belts.
The
on the
IWGP
line.
and
Yeah,
everything
all
like
that.
that.
You
So-
make it the indie WrestleMania.
exactly
in that regard.
exactly. Like, they nearly did it this year with the G1, not the G1, the
Ring of Honor Supercard show.
the Supercard of Honor. That's
Yeah.
what it was. Yeah, like that felt huge because it was guys from Rev Pro, it was guys from Ring of Honor, it was guys from now AEW, it was guys from New Japan, all together in one spot, and it felt massive. So I think if you are smart and you are Japan, you keep that relationship with Ring of Honor because there is still really good talent there, but you build that new relationship with AEW.
Yep.
Because you lost a lot of guys when AEW became a thing, but you can get them back if you are willing to play ball. New Japan need to be willing to play ball. I think just do that. Please do that because I want to see Kenny back in New Japan. I want to see all these guys still wrestling, but obviously they're not a part of that.
And the one person in particular who will have a lot of say as well and who wrestles at AEW too is someone we've spoken quite candidly about too, which is Daniels, because Daniels is the head of talent relations in AEW. And like he'll see what Impact did mistaken-wise when he was there, and he won't make that same mistake again because he goes, okay, one of the old companies I used to do, they made a lot of mistakes. I'm not going to make that same mistake.
How Impact dealt with Okada will always perplex me.
And how they made the Young Bucks jobbers too.
Oh man, that was just that was crazy. But yeah, that is a good guy to have at the helm of
Yeah, because Daniels knows talent and he's
I know.
wrestled people
Yeah.
around the world. So Daniels,
Like, how cool
has
would
a
it
great
be
brain.
to see young boys come into AEW to like cut their teeth and then go back to Japan?
yeah,
That would be sweet. And then they can come back when they're established in Japan and have feuds with the guys that they jobbed out to at AEW. Like, that would be a really cool story to tell. So,
like the guys that SCU opened Double Nothing with. I forgot the name of the.
yeah, I'm blanking on it as well. They were good though.
that was a really good match.
They were really good.
Like we might see.
It wasn't Super Smash Brothers. It was the other
No,
guys.
it's-
Ah, shit. I can't remember.
But like
My bad.
they're from a Chinese wrestling company.
Yes.
Over in so AEW might have
Yes.
another. There you go. Another foot in
Yeah.
the door with a Chinese wrestling company with
Yeah.
the guys that SCU took on as well. And Daniels
I
might
mean-
go, I want more of those guys on American TV.
Yeah. I mean, AEW, look at that first show. They took guys like, the girls, they grabbed them from Stardom.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
traditional Japanese women's wrestling
Yeah.
style, brought it over. And
It was a great 6-women match.
it was incredible.
Yeah.
Like, and you would not be exposed to that kind of wrestling unless you were probably in Japan or were aware of Stardom and sorted out yourself. So if all these companies just put the egos down, work together, you can have this entire sort of infrastructure and environment where you can jump between companies and, you don't have to make a big deal about it and the contracts don't contracts still have to mean something, but they don't mean exclusivity like they do with WWE.
Yeah.
They have to be able to share talent.
And like I've been to a whole lot of meetings as well when it comes to, before shows and everything like that. Basically, Cody would have said to them going, okay, for this 6-women take match, have you guys sorted out what you're going to do? Yep, cool. Who's going over? Yep, cool. Enjoy. Do what you need.
Go and do
it.
Do you have a time frame? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like they would have gone, yep, cool. Yeah. Sweet.
All right.
Beautiful.
NXT 25.
Yeah, we're going to NXT 25 now after everything.
It was so good.
It was great.
It was like, it really did feel a bit like a clapback to Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, you were good. You had a real good first night. We've done this 25 times now, or 24 times. We are really good at it too. And they just came out swinging.
I will say this though, and this is one of my first dot points actually.
Yes.
Tyler Breeze looks more confident with his character on NXT than he did in the main roster.
He's officially back on NXT
He
now
is.
as well, which
And
is so cool.
you know what? Perfect.
Yeah,
Because he has the swagger and the confidence
The
to
fans
go back
love him,
there.
and the NXT crowd love him.
Of course they do, because he was so goddamn good the first time
And it's
around.
funny though, because Tyler Breeze is the only man who wrestled on the original TakeOver, the first ever TakeOver show.
And he's back.
5 years ago.
He's back, and he's as awesome as ever. Like that match, I think, was the sleeper hit of the night. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't as high flying as say the ladder match, or like as spot heavy.
It was more grounded.
It was very grounded, but it told a great story. It was
did.
just so good.
It's a shame though, because I'm gonna miss the Breezango and the fashion files. Like I did enjoy the little shtick with Fandango, but I think for Tyler Breeze now moving forward in his career and with Fandango, we don't know when he's gonna come back into WWE.
I honestly think Fandango could come back to NXT, but I'd be okay with that.
He would pop so much in NXT. Like, NXT crowd would love him for that as well. But
yes.
you look at Tyler Breeze though, he's made for NXT, and like he's even said as well. Like he even said to, I think he said to a lot of the writers and producers backstage too when he wasn't being utilized. He says, if you guys don't have nothing for me on the main roster, send me back to Florida.
Yeah.
I've got a lot more stuff I can do in Florida than travel around with you guys and just sit on my ass and do nothing.
Yeah, and it was awesome. And I loved the selfie at the end.
Yep.
A nice weird way to show respect, but I got it. It was good.
Yeah. Would he go back as a heel though, or do you think he'll still stick as the maybe?
I reckon he has to be a babyface over there.
Babyface for now.
Yeah.
Like, because he was a fantastic heel though in its
but
early days.
In that match, like even though Velveteen Dream is kind of tween a face-ish at the moment, he had to take the spot of the heel.
Yeah.
Just because like the nature of the match sort of dictated that. And
plus, everyone fucking loves Breeze.
Everyone loves Breeze, but my God, Velveteen Dream is he's 23.
Next level.
He's 23.
He's next level.
He's 23.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he gets wrestling. He gets his character so well.
He's the future Triple H.
He knows exactly who he is, and he owns every second he is in that ring. You cannot take your eyes off him.
I'm not going to lie. In the next 15 to 20 years, Velveteen Dream is going to be running NXT.
You reckon?
I think so.
He's got a mind for it, but
He's got the brains.
He does. He has the wrestling IQ that I don't think many people have, especially when he's that young.
Like if you look at him and
God,
Triple H, if you look at both of them in their early days, they both had very high ring IQs from their early careers.
And they both understood who they were.
Yeah.
Like you go back to the
minus the whole
Hurst.
Yeah, minus the whole, Triple H married into the McMahon family. Minus that, Triple H was destined to do something like this 20 years after he got himself started in WWE.
I think we've had a discussion where I think we all even if Triple H didn't marry Stephanie, he'd probably still be in the situation he is now.
I think he would get there, but he wouldn't get there as early as he has right now.
Probably not.
No.
Right? Like, I think he'd still be semi-full-time performer, moving into part-time
Yeah.
at this current stage.
But it could have been a situation where NXT might have been Dusty's thing, and then when Dusty passed, Triple H would have taken over. But it was just like Triple H was there, and they needed someone who was an executive to sort of oversee NXT, and now it's turned into what it is now, which is fucking fantastic wrestling.
It's also good too to see that Shawn Michaels as a producer too for NXT too, and he's helping the next generation train at the Performance Center as well.
I knew when he retired, because it has to have quotation marks around now because he came back, bastard. He was never going to stay away from the ring too. It's where he's comfortable.
There's retiring from in-ring performing, and then there's retire.
Yeah.
No, in wrestling, you retire from the in-ring, but then you move back.
HBK was always coming back.
Yeah.
And he's
there's
found
a desire in this industry.
He's found his niche, and you can tell whenever you see him, especially when he was interacting with Johnny Gargano, He's real happy.
Yeah.
Like being backstage.
He
and,
loves
like,
being there.
and like, you know, putting matches together and stuff for people and seeing that like when it manifests into something as amazing as like all the takeover matches, you can tell he loves it. He loves it.
He's enjoying life right now, HBK, which is fantastic. I was also going to say too, him and Vic Joseph on halftime heat back in the Super Bowl, great commentary from both men.
It was pretty good.
Shawn Michaels put everyone over in that match too.
His job.
Yep.
Got to do
But
it.
he did a fantastic job as colour. I thought he was really good.
Yeah.
For halftime heat. Street Profits are the new NXT Tag Team Champions. So
Thank God.
Yang has been high on them for weeks.
I have been so high on the Street Profits ever since I saw them on NXT TV. They have such a good game, and you're going to say, "Oh, what? They're just budget crime time, right?" And look, fair enough, they are.
I was going to say that,
They're pretty different to Crime Time.
Yeah, they are. But like, to like a layman, they'll look at it and go, "Oh, are they not just kind of crime time?" But even then, Crime Time had such a good shtick anyway.
They
like,
did. Yeah.
It was so fun. And like, we know what this kind of gimmick is. We're not sitting there going, oh, they're going to be like 17-time tag champions and we're going to take them seriously, right? They're fun, right? But they're fun and they know how each other work, right?
Yeah.
And that is the only thing that needs to matter in tag team wrestling.
And I mean,
whether you're serious or not, it doesn't matter as long as you know how your friend works.
Yeah.
And then you have a series of like just a connection psychologically. It separates you in this division.
Yeah.
And that is so prevalent with the Street Profit.
And they got brilliant packaging.
Yes.
And like and it does work of like you got the one the one guy who's the big high flyer, the other guy who's the big bruiser, which is a combination that has worked in tag teams before. Enzo and Cass. Fuck those guys. But like it works for these two dudes. Like that closing sequence where like you got the spear under the ladder at the same time the other guy jumps off the top rope, lands perfectly on the ladder, a nice right hand. Dude from Forgotten Sons falls off, grabs the belt. Like that is a perfect ending to that match. Works so well, and like by that point the crowd was so hot. Wanted them to win. Actually, they pretty much wanted any team but the Forgotten Sons to win.
Yeah.
Because every time those boys got to the ladder, boo! Like no one wants them to win. They need to develop some character.
Yeah, that's the problem with them.
Quickly.
Good name. They look good.
Good name. Good packaging.
Good packaging.
Need to connect.
There needs, and that's what I love about NXT is that their crowd will let you know that we don't like a guy, not because of what they look like and not because of their moveset, but because we want another reason. Yeah. Another reason to get behind this person.
We need to
them,
connect with them.
Right?
So I think they'll get there. They'll find their niche pretty soon. They kind of feel like a combination of like the White family and Sanity kind of mixed together.
I see it.
You gotta make yourself stand out. And like that's what Street Profits do. They have this gimmick where they are high energy. They connect with the crowd. They got the Solo Cup gimmick, which I think is a really like nice little touch. So yeah, good on them for winning. It was a great ladder match. I don't think NXT's ever put on a bad ladder match, to be honest.
Yeah, my God, they're fucking consistent with it.
Yeah, like the ladder match gimmick is something that I think
you got Sean back there producing. No shit,
I know,
it's going to be like...
Put on one of the greatest ladder matches of all time. So, yeah, it's
I was actually going to say what I read about the North
So
American title when it was actually first used in that ladder match. Apparently, Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall put that ladder match together for the North American title.
Interesting.
True story. Scott Hall and Shawn Michaels put that ladder match together.
Living the glory days.
Yep.
Anyway,
which is good.
Opening match.
Yes.
Talk about the opening match.
Riddle and Strong.
It got.
I can watch. I put this as well.
I can watch Matt Riddle
I can watch
work
them all day.
Goddamn day.
I can watch them wrestle each other all day.
Why did he ever bother with MMA?
Yeah.
He gets wrestling so well.
Well, he's been a mark for his life. He's genuine.
He's always liked it. He's always liked wrestling, but like. He's one of those guys, like, and we've seen a lot of the transfer now. Obviously, we've got Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke, Marina Shafir, Rousey. We've got Brock.
I almost don't even consider Matt Riddle to be MMA at this point. Like, I know he has an MMA background, and has he fought on UFC, or was it just...
No, he was in UFC.
He was in UFC?
He was in Ultimate Fighter, I think, and then he got onto the main... Yeah, he was a good fighter.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know, I've seen his matches, I've seen him bouts, like, he's a great fighter.
Yeah.
But it's just... He's so good as a sports entertainer.
He gets it.
That I genuinely spaced that he was an MMA guy.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's weird, though, because you look at his style, too. He's an Oklahoma kid who looks like he's from California.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's so weird. But, like, he just understands. Everyone's like, it's real. It's Angle. Like, Kurt Angle understood it pretty much the moment he stepped in a ring. Like, all the people that were around when he stepped into whatever version of the NXT Performance Center they had back in the day, they said Kurt Angle, the minute he stepped in the ring, he understood what this was. And he got it. He understood it. And Matt Riddle, from all I've heard, when he first went to the Indies and went to the training facility that he went to learn how to wrestle, everyone was like, "No, he gets it,
Dude, I don't know if it was
he understands it."
But he was here for World Series years back, whatever.
Yeah.
And even then, he was still early in the Indies at that point. I think he hadn't left MMA for
He's
too long.
only really been in the Indies for 4 years.
Yeah. And he was so clean then. He is a genuinely great performer.
He adapted so well and so quickly to what wrestling is, because
his only problem, and it's a long-term problem, is character. Because King of Bros or the original Bro is nice, it's good, and it connects now.
Yep.
But it can. I do see it becoming something that becomes quickly stale if it doesn't adapt more dimensions to it. Right?
Yeah, it didn't really become stale on the Indies, but that's because you're bouncing from promotion to
you're going
promotion.
it's like territories at that point, right?
Yeah, and
you're a new person everywhere
It's the gimmick of this is the MMA guy who really gets wrestling, and also he wrestles in bare feet and has a magic mushroom tattoo on his ribs. That's the gimmick of seeing Matt Riddle, who's just kind of this guy is awesome, and he comes out in flip flops and then wrestles in barefoot. It's cool just to see him because he's so enthusiastic about just being in the wrestling world that you get caught up. But you're right. Eventually you're going to need a little something more to his character. That's why I think you should turn him heel.
I think so too.
Oh, yeah. I think he'd be an excellent heel.
A heel bro. I reckon that works.
Bro.
And that adds little bits and layers to his character. So I'm down for that. But that opening match, him and Roddy, just hard hitting, just strikes, backbreakers, just... Oh, it was a great way to kick off. I just loved it. I love watching Roddy go to work. I love watching Matt Riddle go to work. Did they ever fight? They must have fought on the Indies at some point. They would have had to. Roddy was in the
while.
Yeah, but I know, but he's been in the Indies for years.
They might have done Evolve because NXT has a nice connection with Evolve.
Yeah, I think they may have crossed paths at some point.
Yeah.
But they had chemistry up the wazoo in this match. Give me them with 30 minutes for the North American title. Mint.
At this
Absolutely
point,
mint.
you can honestly put Roddy against anyone.
Roddy's so
he
good.
hasn't had a
As
one-on-one bad match.
As long as he doesn't fight Adam Cole.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Speaking
of which, but before...
just really quickly, Shayna Baszler beat EO for returning.
Solid match.
Good
No,
match.
come on. Solid match. And the after-match beat down.
Yeah.
Moonsault with the chair. Io Shirai, you're awesome. I love you.
She's got that bad bone in her, and I love it.
I think they're setting up for a hardcore match at whatever the next...
Take over Toronto, which is the day before SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, yeah. I think I would love to see a women's hardcore, street fight, whatever.
Yo, and Shayna could put it on, man.
You know what's weird, though?
Shayna could kill a man.
Here's the weirdest thing about this SummerSlam. It's the earliest it's been in quite some time because it's the second week of August, not the third week of August this year.
Really? And it's...
My God, alert the authorities.
Takeover is on the 10th of August. SummerSlam's on the 11th of August.
I think the pay-per-view structure's been a bit fucked by this Saudi show.
Yeah.
Because it's an early month thing.
Isn't Stomping Ground
throws
a
everything...
few weeks afterwards?
Yeah, it's only a couple of weeks afterwards, but then I think they're having another, because the break between Mania and Money in the Bank was 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Usually it's only 4 weeks.
And then Extreme Rules is July, and then you go to SummerSlam.
Yeah, they've it's all over the place. So I understand, and it's probably the only time that the Canadian whatever stadium it is or arena was free.
Scotiabank Stadium, I think.
Something like that.
It's in Toronto.
I am going to miss it being in Brooklyn. The feel and we've now broken the Brooklyn streak of takeovers.
Yeah.
Super annoying.
But it's
going to feel different, but Toronto...
But it's good, though, because...
Good wrestling town.
For the first time in a while, we're actually going to see TakeOver and SummerSlam in 1 weekend in Canada. Because I think the last one was... I think it was the first War Games, when there was War Games and then Survivor Series. Was it?
No, it was the year before that. It was TakeOver Toronto... Before Survivor Series. The next year was War Games.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because it was the DIY
versus
Revival.
Revival, the handhold submission.
Fantastic.
That fucking spot was amazing.
Which we're doing a video very shortly as well about our best TakeOver matches
I am
of all time.
working on that currently. I just need you to submit your favourite NXT matches lists.
I've dropped M's into...
Looking at you?
I've dropped M's into the Google Doc.
I will look into it.
Please do. I need to.
You've seen me drop some M's, haven't you?
Yeah, no. I wanted to drop this before Takeover, but we'll do it after Takeover. Or I might save it for I might add the Takeover 25 matches and do it before the SummerSlam
Yep,
one.
done. Cole, baby.
This match was amazing, start to finish. It was just I reckon.
It falls into what we said. Johnny Gargano's story is a chaser.
Yep.
His payoff is in the chase. He's not meant to hold the belt.
Who was it that said last week that Johnny Gargano was not going to drop the belt early? Because I said Adam Cole.
I said Adam Cole. I think we all said Adam Cole.
Yeah, we all said Adam Cole.
Yeah, no,
I've been very vocal about the point.
Yeah, you know, I really thought that like the reason that Johnny kept kicking out of stuff at Takeover before Mania, it was just his night. He had the perfect night where it's only going to happen in this scenario, and you take him out of that situation where he's chasing so goddamn hard. Now he's got to defend.
Yeah.
Just didn't have that last little bit to get over the line.
It illustrates like to the point of he like obviously to the idea that he's much more better as a chaser. But the idea being that like his psychology is embedded in like I have nothing to lose here when I'm going to chase.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't feel that when he has the belt.
No.
And it was the same when he had the North American belt as well.
True. Yeah.
Right. And like if we're
but he had that for like a hot minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it feels like that's the kind of story we're telling here with Johnny Gargano's character. Right. It's like and it's so prevalent. Like he's such a great chaser, even with the tag belts.
Yeah.
They didn't have them for very long either.
No,
it just seems
they
like
did not have a successful defense of those belts.
So, like, as we go forward, years from now, I like to believe one of the biggest stories we tell with Johnny Gargano is this man does not know how to hold belts very long.
Yep.
Right? And then that should be an arc that you really run with.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for a good couple of months, where it's just like, I can win, I can get my foot in the door, but I just can't stay very long. And why?
It felt a bit like the story they were telling with Sasha when she was dropping the belt back to Charlotte constantly. But yeah, this match I think was better than the 2 out of 3 falls match. It was more succinct, less false finishes, less kicking out of finishes.
It was more organic.
It was, yeah. And I was saying to David before, there was like one little moment that I think sort of encapsulates the storytelling aspect of NXT compared to WWE. It was a sequence where we're doing the counter. No one's getting a shot off. We're getting out of holds, reversing holds, missing finishes and stuff like that. And then both of them are just sort of facing off, and they both go for that super kick, and then both realize the other one's doing it. They stop, take a beat, and they're just kind of like waiting, daring the other one to make the first move. And yeah, Adam Cole super kicks Johnny. Johnny comes around, super kicks Adam right back, and they both sort of fall down. But it was just that little moment where they both sort of raise the foot, look at each other, realize they're going for the same thing again, take that beat, and then go. Like, it was just such a small moment, but it worked so goddamn well.
Yep.
That it's those little beats that I especially pay attention to, because like if you really pay attention to NXT, they do such a good job of crafting stories and little beats and moments like that in matches that just really, really draw you in and like make you invested in these characters. And I just, yeah. And I think the other thing I brought up too was like the finish of this match. Johnny had kicked out of a Panama Sunrise and he had kicked out of a last shot, but they were separate. This time, to get that finish, he had to go Panama Sunrise into last shot to get that final pin. And that sort of sells the fact that Johnny is resilient and he will kick out of stuff that people shouldn't kick out of. But you put those two moves together, no one kicks out.
No.
Adam Cole wins. Crowd goes fucking nuts.
Because it's a long time coming
They
for
were
Adam
so
Cole.
behind him
And
coming out. Like, the crowd was like... It was a 70-30 split Cole's way.
I think more people thought straight away that Adam Cole has to win tonight. Like, it's a big event. Therefore, the man who everyone loves and adores and has loved ever since he came to NXT has to eventually get the big gold bout, which he's finally done.
They've been talking up like the whole Undisputed Era is going to hold all the gold by the end of this year, and at some point you have to start that story.
I think Takeover Toronto between now and August.
Yeah,
perfect.
It's probably going to be Street Profits versus Undisputed Era,
and
Fish and
Roderick Strong versus
Velveteen. Yeah,
and I think by the end of Takeover Toronto,
we could have
Undisputed Era have all the gold.
Hopefully, Bobby Fish is okay because he came out in a sling.
Saw that. Yeah.
At the end of the match,
I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, apparently everyone was banged up after that takeover. Like everyone's sort of on the shelf for like a couple of weeks, just resting up because it was like the ladder match was brutal. Roddy v. Riddle was brutal. Main event was brutal. Women's match was brutal. Like, it was very hard hitting stuff. So
imagine if they put
Shayna
in the Undisputed Era as well.
There was rumors of Jessamine Duke. Oh no, which one's married to Roddy Strong? Whichever one.
Jessamine Duke.
Is it? Okay.
That's the shorter one.
Yeah, there was rumors of like her being brought in with Roddy as a part of
Makes
Undisputed
sense.
Era, but
Bring both of them in.
I think you should bring in Kevin Owens. But anyway, Raw and SmackDown happened this week.
Yep. I was just going to say before that.
Yeah.
Champ on the pre-show says that he's almost ready to go.
There's a difference between what he's said and then what he's actually medically allowed to do. He's barely lifting weights.
Yeah, the rumor is, at least at this stage, at least another 12 months from like now. Because it's not just a case of getting back to 100%. It's getting back to 100% and then training again.
Yep.
Because your body, you're going to have ring rust after a year out of the ring, especially a neck injury as bad as his was. It's the same injury that put Edge on the shelf.
Yep.
Yeah.
So do not rush.
No.
I will happily wait a year and a half for him to come back, as long as he comes back with
Imagine
impact.
the pop that Champ is going to
Exactly.
get when he
The
gets
longer
back.
he's away, the bigger the pop is going to be.
Yep.
So I'm happy to be patient. Do not hurt yourself. You have a child. You have a wife. Wrestling isn't everything. Probably is to Ciampa because he's a madman. But give it time.
Yep.
Please.
I think Champ has
Please.
got a future in backstage post-wrestling as well. In
Oh,
WWE.
dude, he has a mind for this business that not a lot of people have. He's going to be a producer, whatever, backstage
And
role.
he was Muhammad
sort of wants.
Hassan's lawyer.
He was too.
He was. That was fucking
Yeah, so
amazing.
Raw and SmackDown were a thing.
Yeah.
Devil Puppet,
Yep, we'll go to that.
the best thing.
That should be the only thing we talk
that-
about.
that- honestly,
and
that-
Brock Party.
That whole Firefly Funhouse was
That was the greatest thing ever.
so. It's the best one they've done.
It is the hottest meme template going around too right now.
Even WWE put up like here
Yeah.
you go, meme this motherfuckers. Like
I'm loving WWE's social game at the moment, where they're steering into memes.
obviously whoever does that doesn't have to answer to Vince.
Yeah.
Because they can just do whatever the hell they want and it's great.
The hot meme, it's a 3-panel meme where it's Bray talking to the doll,
Yeah.
and then the shot of Bray looking behind him going, huh? What the fuck? And then it's just Devil Vince and him going, no, easy there, big fella.
That is good shit.
It's good shit.
It's good shit.
That's becoming a meme as well. I love it.
Yeah.
I love Devil Vince Puppet, whatever the
Love your
fuck it is.
pants.
And yeah,
The strong man.
and also,
give me-
Huskus the pig.
Huskus the pig, like that really feels like
Old sentiment of Husky Harris.
that conversation between the Devil Puppet and Huskus, like you need to lose weight, you're a big fat pig.
Yep.
Kind of felt like the actual conversation that Vince would have had with
Bray?
Bray at some point, being
Yeah,
like lose
Like
weight.
Nexus Bray going, lose some weight,
Not
Husky.
even Nexus Bray. I'm talking like in the
Oh, yeah,
space
White
between
Family.
Bray buggering off and coming back now, when he lost all the weight.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like that may have been a
You're
conversation.
still Husky, damn it.
That happened.
Lose some weight,
Now,
damn it.
whilst this episode of Firefight Funhouse was excellent, we still haven't got. We need a payoff eventually.
Yeah.
We need a payoff eventually because
I can see WWE thinking there's value in him coming out during the 50-man Rumble at the stupid thing this weekend, but do not do that.
Do not do that.
But I see WWE being like, this is a good idea, but
Like,
guess what? It
they
fucking
are,
didn't.
they are very, very aware of how over this gimmick is.
Yep.
They are. Like the
But-
socials are very putting it over.
but-
The views on YouTube are exorbitant. Like they are aware that this gimmick is over.
But remember,
Patience.
there's history of them putting so much time and effort into one little gimmick and then throwing it away.
But I think this is now a problem.
Emelina
Yeah,
boys?
yeah.
Emelina?
I think this
Missed out?
there's now
Missed out?
but we've now created the problem ourselves.
It's
Because
like-
we're sitting there and we're going, okay, we love this gimmick so much. Oh fuck, I guess he goes into the world title scene. No, he doesn't. Right?
No,
that's
he
not,
doesn't have to.
That's not
Please-
what that is.
Please no.
Right? Because a lot of people will be sitting there going,
Whatever the first feud is does have to be high profile, but it doesn't have
It
to be
does,
title worthy.
but it doesn't. This Bray character to me doesn't sit as a world champion.
No,
Right?
no,
and it's no stiff to the guy.
Bray
right?
versus Roman, I think, would be a good first up.
Have done that. Have they?
No, but then who you book?
They have done that.
With the character we have here, I can't
He
actually name a
feels-
person
he feels
that
like
he has to have a first feud with.
He feels like a face.
He
More-
is face to me.
more than a heel. So
Kevin Owens?
it depends what
Sami Zayn?
brand
I'm
he ends
seeing a
up on.
potential for a Finn-esque kind of
Again.
situation.
I mean-
No, not facing Finn, but
Okay,
in
good,
the idea
good.
that we have Finn Balor the man, and then there's Demon, right?
So you
Whereas
have
with
the-
this, we can have Mr. Rogers, Bray Wyatt,
or the
and then he turns it on when he
Yowie,
needs to.
what do you call it again?
No idea, I can't remember.
The
But
Nemesis or some shit like
that's
that.
what I'm getting. It seems like they can go that route with him.
Yeah.
but handle it better than what you've done with Finn. Give Mr. Rogers Bray some credibility, nice moveset. But then when he turns it the fuck on and he goes, "Oh, you've unleashed the beast."
Who would have thought in 2019 we'd be calling Bray Wyatt Mr. Rogers Bray?
I know. But they've done it and it works.
And it works.
Him in a sweater is just the best.
Yeah. He's the ultimate. He's the ultimate dad.
Also, him in bloody... What are those?
Dude, those fucking yoga pants.
Yeah,
Bro.
there's another name for him. Joey Buttafuoco pants.
Oh, yeah, Butterfield pants.
Yeah,
bro.
so good. I loved it. And I'm going to get you that Bray gym, the white gym shirt.
Yeet.
Need to get that
Wear
one.
it to the gym.
I fucking will.
Yep.
That and a Brock Party shirt.
You got to gimmick it yourself. You got to cut the sleeves off.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
And you should tape over Brock and put Yang Party instead.
No, Brock Party, bro.
Brock Party.
Brock Party.
Yeah, so we didn't get a Brock cash-in.
Yeah, but who
Surprising.
actually thought there was?
Nobody.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody.
But you know what? He showed up on Raw for the third time in a row.
Friday.
And now he's going to be on Super Showdown on Friday. And I can only
Friday!
assume he's totally going to be on Raw the next week as well. That would make it a month straight.
Look out. Look who's going full-time.
Look who is full-time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not doing the MMA thing now, so... Like, he's officially...
I would love to know
officially
just some
quit.
details on what he's contracted, because I like to think, like we've stiffed him so many times, fair enough, Michael, you had some merit to what you were stiffing him before. But it just seems like they've brokered a nice deal with Brock here. They might have broke Brock. I think now, like obviously, I'm not counting the man's pockets. Like we don't know Brock from fucking shit. He could be some other complete person in real life. We don't know. But it just seems like the man is doing good by the business right now, in a weird way.
If the rumor that we heard at the start of not the start of this year, but after Mania is true, where he came out and like he was like, okay, I'm officially done with MMA, and he signed like another deal with WWE. If this is his last year. And the deal was like, all right, if this is the last we're getting of you, we're going to milk you for all you got. But also, we're going to reimburse you pretty handsomely to hang around on a more full-time basis if this is going to be your last run.
It could be a Rousey contract similar to what she had too, because Rousey had the
3/4 full-time.
Yeah, because Rousey was 1 year full-time, and then now she's going to be a part-timer from then on in.
Yeah, whatever she does, gets pregnant,
Yeah.
then comes back after that. We don't know. But I don't know. It kind of does feel like Brock might be hanging around a little bit more often than he has been in the last few years, which I'm okay
Like
with.
the one thing I want from Brock now is for him to compete on Raw and SmackDown.
No.
I don't think he needs to. Like we get lost in that shuffle of you got to compete.
At least a
there.
few matches here and there.
Yeah, I'll give you a match every couple of months.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm asking for.
But if you're gonna have a
I still
full-time
feel like he's
Brock,
special enough where you don't need to have him.
You don't. No, I agree with that because he loses his special attraction if he
The
does.
fact that he
compete
shows
every
up
week.
in general is
But
pretty amazing.
also,
Yeah.
another thing too that might help the ratings a little bit is if you get Brock to at least have a match with someone on Raw and SmackDown, because fans will go, holy shit, Brock Lesnar's actually wrestling in a proper wrestling
I'm not
match.
disagreeing with you when I say he shouldn't. It's just that he shouldn't do it every single week.
No.
Because the man still has stock in the ability.
I'm not
to...
saying every week.
Yeah.
But I'm saying similar to what Rousey.
at some point.
Yeah, because Rousey, she didn't compete
Have a match.
She didn't compete every week. She came out, but she competed
She
like
did have a run where she did pretty much every week. But
yeah, but like there was a time when she competed maybe once every 2 months on TV.
Yeah,
But she came out every week.
in the
though.
And
infancy of her.
she'd always do the after pay-per-view come out and like have an open challenge deal, which I
Yeah.
thought was a really cool idea.
Yeah. Or like once a month, like something like that. Once a month
Yeah,
or once every 2 months, have Brock come and wrestle someone.
And also this could also depend on like the SmackDown Fox deal. Like
Yeah.
they could have just been like, "Hey WWE, here's a fistful of money. We want Brock on TV every week. As long as you've got him, and he's apparently gonna be on SmackDown, we want him every week." So
Yeah.
and like the fact that he came out and said Friday, I'm cashing in Friday, not I'm cashing in on Seth on Friday. There's still that little thing in the back of my mind, like he could just cash in on Kofi.
He could.
I'd be okay
What
with
a
it,
swerve.
but I
What an
need-
absolute swerve,
It would be
though.
a great swerve.
Yeah.
It would definitely move him to SmackDown.
Yeah. Which is what Fox want.
Yeah. Oh, it's just I'm intrigued by it because I don't know where it goes from there.
No, like who the hell on SmackDown takes down
Yeah.
Brock?
Well, Roman's
Oh,
on
shit,
there.
Roman's on SmackDown.
Roman's on
Shit,
there.
I forgot Roman was on SmackDown because of the dumb wild card rule
but
where he shows
think
up
of
on
this,
Raw
though.
every fucking week.
There's one match that I think we'll still lick our lips over. Brock v KO is a potential.
Dude,
Have
Brock,
they not done? They
you can
haven't
do
done
Brock v anyone, man.
I know.
But
I'll
Brock-
lick my lips of Brock v anyone, man.
But Brock v
Alright, like-
but Brock v KO, people would really want to get their
As
lips
long as they
wrapped around that.
don't give him the Samoa Joe treatment. I remember being so keen for that match and then him getting buried in 5 minutes. I was like, well, that's fucking dumb.
I was also keen for Braun Brock, and then
And they did that
They buried-
3 times, and every
Yeah.
time it was shite.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What do you think of Undertaker being cut off halfway towards the end there?
I knew that was going to happen. When your music hits in the Undertaker with like 4 minutes of television left, you ain't talking much.
No.
And there's no overrun anymore, so he got cut the fuck off. Yeah, they didn't really.
Taker would have been pissed though.
I don't think Taker cares. He goes backstage, gets his $500,000 check.
Yep.
See you in Saudi Arabia, boy.
Are we looking forward to Undertaker Goldberg? I mean, we're going to talk about
Yes,
Shane
I was
eventually.
talking about it just before. Morbid curiosity.
That's it.
Well,
That's morbid.
You're an idiot if you're looking at it going, fuck, I can't
There
wait
is-
for a
there
15-minute
is
spectacle where Undertaker
no-
does this, and this.
fucking way. Undertaker is taking a jackhammer. He will take a spear. But
Yeah.
He ain't taking a jackhammer.
No.
I doubt Goldberg's getting up for a last ride.
Yep.
Maybe a tombstone.
He'll do a tombstone. There'll be a tombstone and there'll be a spear.
Yeah.
That's
Whether there is more moves
Bout
before
it.
and after that,
there will be an old school, a big boot, a snake eyes, whatever Goldberg's signature move is.
don't know. Couldn't
no,
tell you.
me either. You might punch him in the face a couple of times.
But
Apart from
what I
that-
would love though from these guys is I would love to see a Brock Goldberg WrestleMania style
I was
match.
about to say, give me 5 minutes of car crash.
Yeah.
I'll be happy.
Yeah. Same here.
That's all I need.
Give us car crash TV
Yep.
for 5 minutes, and that's it.
Yeah.
Cool. And Goldberg can take most of the bumps because he's probably in slightly better physical condition.
Yep.
He did gas himself coming to the ring, although he was sweating.
He did. Yeah.
He was sweating the minute he started. But that promo was fucking good.
He's still good.
Dude, Goldberg's always had it, man.
But apparently,
Right,
the backstage, they didn't give him a script. Which just goes to show that if you let the wrestlers go out there and show off their actual personality, it can actually be quite good TV.
Hello, Vince.
He went out there with no script. It was only like, just sell the match. And he sold the match.
Look at John Moxley, for example. Look what he wanted to do, and you didn't give it to him, and now
And
he's gone to
the
AEW.
Two best promos on TV this week, Triple H, Randy, and Goldberg,
Yep.
have both been pretty much unscripted.
Yeah, off the cusp.
I don't get it. Anyway,
What do we think? Also, really quickly as well, before we move to Super Showdown and get our quick predictions and the local stuff and the indie stuff as well. Bliss and Bayley, are they moving Bliss to SmackDown now? Because
Wild card rule.
wild card rule.
Yep.
Also, apparently she is a face on Raw and a heel on SmackDown.
Which is so fucking weird.
I
Yeah.
know.
I like her as a face on Raw.
I know.
I'm liking it.
Her and Nikki's little weird relationship.
Yeah.
I dig it.
It's quirky. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's new for Alexa's character.
I like sadistic Bliss when she fell in the coffin. She got the white
I
jeans
don't like the reliance on coffee as a gimmick though.
and the white
No,
jeans.
I like it though because it's so new to the Alexa Bliss character
I guess
because it's just so far out of left
But
field that
it-
you're like, oh yeah, she's making it work.
it does feel like one of those things where Vince is backstage saying, she got white jeans and she sat in coffee. That's good shit.
Yeah.
That's good shit.
That's what it just like everything now, like after the fucking Moxley
Like,
interview, it's
she-
like how much of this am I watching going, that is definitely a Vince thing, and him backstage being like, that's good shit.
She's become the ultimate talk show host gimmick now. She's become like the Ellen or the Oprah Winfrey on
Is she
Raw.
like she has a match, so we're assuming that she's been cleared to wrestle
She's
now?
been cleared to wrestle again.
Okay.
But
Please
depending
don't get concussed, Alexa. Like if that really feels like the next time she gets concussed, it's third strike and you're out.
Yep.
And she's done. So
And they'll keep her as
Please.
what she's doing now with the moment of bliss.
please be safe. Please be safe. We don't want to lose you because you're amazing on TV.
Super Showdown match card as well. Usos versus Revival. Who have we got?
Usos.
Usos.
Because the Revival are on the way out, baby.
Lars Sullivan versus Lucha House Party in the 3-on-1 handicap.
Lars Sullivan.
Lars Sullivan, yep. Braun and Bobby.
Braun.
Finn and Andrade.
Finn. This is a really easy card to pick,
Yeah,
to
Finn.
be honest.
Oh, what's that, Michael? What'd you say?
Roman and Shane.
The slap's coming up, mate. I'm going to go Shane O'Mac.
I was going to go Shane as well.
because
Yeah,
of what's his face gimmicks. Drew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kofi and Dolph.
Kofi.
Kofi.
All right, this is the tough one.
I don't care. I don't know who's in it.
50-man battle royale. Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
Okay.
Matt Riddle.
Oh, it'd be so good if he showed up.
I'm just going to go
I don't think.
I don't know. I don't know who's in it. I don't care.
No,
So-
there's been 5 names announced.
Yeah.
And one of them is Mojo Rawley. He's probably not winning.
I'm going to go Tyus O'Neil only because of what he did last year at the Greatest Royal Rumble.
It has been a year.
Oh no,
hasn't
they're gonna do some dumb thing where he slips on purpose, aren't they?
it?
Yeah.
Fuck you, WWE, you bastards! God damn it!
Seth and Baron.
Seth.
Seth.
Yep.
Baron.
Get the fuck out of.
Baron Corbin.
fuck
Fuck
out.
y'all. Baron Corbin.
All right, fine.
Triple H, Randy Orton.
Randy.
I've got Randy winning this one too.
Yeah, I got Randy.
And Goldberg, Taker. I've got Goldberg.
Yeah, why not? Goldberg, fuck it.
I got Goldberg as well.
Yeah. And successful cash in, yay or nay?
No.
No.
Yes.
Okay, good moment. All right.
On who?
Kofi.
Well, I'm going to go with he cashes in on Kofi.
Okay.
Just to throw a little bit of fucking...
And because Matt Riddle will be in Saudi at the time,
Something out
it
there.
won't be successful.
Beautiful.
And there we begin the Matt Riddle-Brock Lesnar feud.
Really quickly,
I would
two.
love it if they did that, but they
Some of the local news as well. Kellyanne and Jordy Grace have been announced for Melbourne Night 1, which is what we're going to. So we're going to see the leader of the
Hell
Fiend
yeah.
Club versus Yang's future wife.
I was about to say Yang's future wife.
And also, Melbourne City Wrestling have got tensions rising this weekend. They're in the semi-final phase now of crowning the new MCW Intercommonwealth Champion after Slex vacated the belt at the Brewery Brawl because he wanted to, as we said, Slex is a company guy. He wants to give it to the next up-and-comer.
He got the big belt.
He's got the big belt
It don't
now.
matter no more.
So you got TD and Danny Psycho, and you got Loverboy Lockie Hendricks and Richie Taylor in the semi-finals there. You've also got Indy Hartwell versus Jessica Troy, Kaz Jordan versus who used to be called Campbell Crawford, now Atlas Whitaker after turning on Jet at the last event.
Atlas Whitaker, what a name. I like that.
Kellyanne versus Xena.
Oh, yeah.
Jake.
Wait, the Xena?
No. Shut up.
That would have been great.
Jake Andrade comes back to MCW for the first time in a few months because I don't know what's happened with Helter Skelter. And the main event, which everyone's talking about, is the Brat Pack versus the Philippe brothers who've come back from the dojo in Brisbane and Japan and taking on the Brat Pack as the Natural Classics. And that's main event tensions rising.
We are going to see them versus the Lucha Brothers.
Here we are.
That's IQ.
Although Phoenix did tweet out this week that he's injured, so I'm a little bit worried.
He'll be fine.
I hope he's going to be fine. He can take a step to fucking
Penta?
Penta, thank you, who can do everything because Penta's fucking amazing.
But
so
we did
good.
say that about Flip Gordon before World Series last time, and Flip came out and was devastated because he'd missed out on wrestling. He still came out,
Yeah,
but he just couldn't wrestle.
yeah, I know. But this year,
He's allowed.
we are going to be seeing the fucking flipping machines versus Villain Enterprises
Oh.
for the World
Titles.
Series Wrestling titles. And I reckon by the end of this tour, Villain Enterprises will have their fourth member,
Who do you think?
and it will be an Aussie.
It'll be an Aussie.
I reckon it'll be an Aussie.
I'm trying to think who would be.
I don't know, but it'll be someone that comes whenever they do a World Series Wrestling show, comes out with them and does the thing.
Could be
I would-
Slex.
Oh, Slex is a face though, isn't he? At the moment in World Series, or is he a heel? Because he turned on.
We could spend all day debating this.
I know.
Yeah.
He turned on Austin Aries, so he's a
Yeah, he
face now.
did.
Yeah, he's got to be a face. So he's not joining Villain
All right,
Enterprises.
so it wouldn't be Slex.
No.
Just trying to think who else would
Would
be.
love it if it was Robbie.
Maybe Sid.
Could be Sid.
Actually,
could
yeah,
be
that'd
Sid.
be cool.
And him and Erica could join Villain Enterprise.
I would like that. I would like that very much.
I would love that very much
Yeah.
too.
Anyway, are we done?
We're done.
That's it. All right.
What a massive podcast.
There's just so much wrestling at the moment. It's great, that there's so much wrestling, but god damn it, there's a lot to talk about.
Also, next week is even bigger as well.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, of course. Okay, this weekend is Super Showdown, which, look, whatever. It's fine. Stuff will happen. We'll talk about it. But also, Dominion is this weekend.
Yep.
Huge matches on the card. Jericho versus Okada for the title. You got Super Juniors.
Yep.
Wrap up, of course.
We just mentioned Melbourne City Wrestling too with their big
Melbourne City Wrestling this weekend as well on the local scene. And then the week after that,
We've got APW's Last Exit, which I've just been informed on the massive main event, which I'm not allowed to announce just yet because it's secret. I'll tell you guys off air though.
scandalous.
But it's a mass, it's almost 2-year anniversary style big.
Well, that's coming up too, so.
That is next month.
Yes.
So is Ballroom Brawl,
And
which is Lockie Hendricks' final match in MCW because
before he goes
he's
to
almost to Florida to see
Florida,
Uncle Paul.
Uncle Paul.
Uncle Paul's waiting.
Uncle Paul come calling. And of course, the week after that is World Series Wrestling, which we'll be
Yep.
going to. And then the week after that is the New Japan Tour, which we are thinking about going to. Because I looked today and there are tickets available.
And we might also be going to Bischoff as well. I'm still waiting to hear back from my guy in regards to that as well. So we might be able to speak about that
True.
too. So we might be able to speak a bit about 83 Weeks, the podcast itself.
Also,
And have that beer with Bischoff too, which he promised us.
I was going to say, if you haven't heard, we interviewed Eric Bischoff, and you can go check it out on the YouTube channel at youtube.com/. Actually, we don't have a custom URL yet. Just search Strayamania on YouTube.
You can listen to the podcast as well, Vince.
And you can listen, and you can find us everywhere at Strayamania, at STRAYAMANIA, Strayamania Pod on Twitter and Instagram, Strayamania Podcast, Facebook, and the YouTube. You can follow me everywhere at Ricki Needs at RICKINEEDS, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Michael!
Tomo_Michael for Instagram this week.
Boom.
_ the Half-Cast Prince on Instagram.
_ the Half-Cast Prince, _ Michael Tomo. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this week in wrestling. You'll enjoy the week coming up in wrestling because there's so much wrestling to watch. It's fucking nuts. We'll see you all next week. Bye!
Bye.